comes into the team. Your midfield pairing is Michelle Farrell, who has been playing in the forward line all year, but she's brought back into midfield, and she's alongside Aoife O'Brien. Your half forward line then is Sarah Shannon, Louise Monaghan, and Claire Farrell, who was named at wing back, but she will line out in the half forward line. Then up front we have Emer Heaney, Ciara Healy, and I'm actually missing one here because Aoife Darcy is not starting, so I'll have to come back to that. But I will. Sorry, Michelle Noonan actually starts there. I'm being helpfully advised by the Longford correspondent here in the St. Bridget's press box. My thanks to Denise there for helping me out on that one. Denise O'Flaherty, of course, Longford listeners will be very familiar with her work with the Longford Leader and with Shannonside Radio, among others. So we're nearly ready to go here. Your referee for this afternoon is Gus Chapman from Sligo, and he'll take us through. There's no real significant wind advantage out there at the moment. Flags very, very still. The ones down at the end of the ground with a little bit of altitude on them, they're blowing maybe slightly, but it's across the field, so there'll be no real wind advantage. Pitch in excellent condition here, ideal for football, and on top of that, then dry ground. We had a little bit of rain this morning, few showers there, but the ground is dried up nicely, so really ideal conditions. I'm looking at Roscommon lining out here, and they're pretty much going to line out as selected. No, instead I see on the Roscommon side, Roisin Wynne is actually moving up to centre forward with Aisling McAuliffe dropping back to centre back. So that's a positional switch. Roisin Wynne and Aisling McAuliffe coming in now, and I'll try and establish the Longford team, but I'm pretty sure it'll be near enough to what I gave to you. But we'll see in a minute. Yeah, sure enough, there at midfield, I see Michelle Farrell and Aoife O'Brien going into midfield, all right. And Michelle Noonan definitely going in. She's going up top of the left. And I also see Hannah Glennon going into the full forward line. So that's an additional switch there. So Hannah Glennon has gone into the full forward line. I'll have a look. It looks as if it's possibly Ciara Healy that she has replaced, but I'll confirm that as we go ahead. So we're getting ready to go here now. It's just 2 o'clock. And Gus Chapman takes the ball and he throws it in. First possession, Jenny Higgins gets the hand up and knocks it down towards Caroline Conway. So first attack of the game will be for Roscommon, looking to try and find Laura Fleming, but that's an excellent interception by Orla Nevin. And now Longford have their first possession of the game. Ball into Sarah Shannon now. She looks for the right-footed kick. She's looking forward for Emer Heaney. Emer Heaney comes out, lays that ball off towards Louise Monaghan. Chance now, shooting chance here for Longford. Michelle Farrell with the strike, but she's pushed that one left of the target and wide. So that's a first wide of the game for Longford. And a missed opportunity there. Didn't really get that shot off the ground. And it's hard to know whether it would have even made it across the crossbar had it got that far. Roscommon retained their short kick out, and the ball is in the hands now of Rachel Brady on that far side. She looks to go short, ball into Jenny Higgins. Jenny Higgins played an awful lot of football at full forward this year, but she's been dropped back to midfield by this new interim management team. Of course, as you may be aware, Diane O'Hora left the scene. She resigned her position after their most recent game, their defeat to Laois, that condemned them to this relegation final. Emer Heaney now taking possession, decides there's nothing easy on, and instead decides to recycle the ball backwards. Ball now in possession of Aoife O'Brien. Aoife O'Brien carries it forward with that long loping stride. Instead decides, okay, we're going to be patient here. We're going to build it up slowly. Quick exchange of passes, and we're back into midfield. Claire Farrell now taking possession. Lovely injection of pace from the Longford Slashers player. Ball inside now. First touch of the game for Hannah Glennon. Hannah Glennon, and again back to Farrell. Farrell, she's going to be bottled up there. She's going to need to recycle this ball. She's trapped in the corner, but there's no real pressure being put on from the Roscommon backline. The lack of tackling there will be a little bit disappointing to the management team. They could have looked for a turnover. They had 3 defenders. They didn't get it. Instead, Ciara Mulligan comes onto it now. Longford retaining possession here. That's a good tackle from Caroline Conway. Got an excellent right hand in, but doesn't quite work out. Goes back towards Claire Farrell, and Claire Farrell drives forward again. A little bit of a stalemate here now as you look at the pitch at the moment. Roscommon keeping 2 players up in the forward line, but other than that, the other 13 all drop back inside their own 45-metre line. As I look down at the opposite end of the pitch to where the ball is at the moment, I notice that the The Longford goalkeeper, Rianne McGrath, is pretty much dressed in Roscommon colours, so I expect that'll probably be addressed by the referee at some point as soon as it catches his eye. Ball in again here towards Hannah Glennon. Hannah Glennon turns inside, chance to get a right-footed shot away, doesn't look to take it, instead comes back towards Sarah Shannon, and she pulls that one wide of the target as well. So Longford monopolising possession so far, but they haven't made a count on the scoreboard. And again, Roscommon with the short kick out, looking for Rachel Brady. But Gus Chapman says, no, that's a little bit quick for my tastes. And you're going to come back and you're going to do that again. So restart here now, and again, it's Longford still don't close it off. It's still the simple short kick out, and it's still Rachel Brady taking possession. And I'm going to apologise in advance because I can feel a sneeze coming, but hopefully it won't blow your eardrums away if you're tuned into us there. But be careful if you have headphones on, is all I'll say. Again, Longford with the turnover. Well done, Claire Farrell. Now, chance for Emer Heaney to run at the Roscommon defence. Steps inside, comes onto her right foot. Needs to get the hand pass away. But again, Caroline Conway, that's two good dispossessions from the Ballyboden Wanderers player. She's after getting in with two excellent tackles, giving a little bit of defensive presence there. First touch of the game for Aisling McAuliffe. Bit of space out here on the left flank. Ball forward, fed here towards Ellen Irwin. Irwin with the hand pass on towards Joanne Craig. There's space inside. Roisin Wynne is gone. Quick change of passes. Roisin Wynne has it. Looks for Laura Fleming. Laura Fleming, low right-footed shot. Laura Fleming to the net. That was a hugely effective breakaway move from Roscommon there. Lovely break out of defence. Well worked through the hands. And the final hand pass. Roisin Wynne joined the attack. I have to say, I was hugely impressed. I gave Roisin Wynne player of the match. After the last performance against Laois, she was moved back onto Mo Nerney and did a fantastic man-marking job on the other end of the field. And anyone who's following the Intermediate Championship here will know that Mo Nerney is as good a forward as there is across any of the counties participating. But Roisin Wynne did a superb job on her, and she's after proving there she can be just as effective up there in the forward line. Lovely quick hand pass, great work between the players. And eventually it found its way to Laura Fleming, and that was a perfect right-footed shot low into the corner. So that was the start Roscommon would have wanted. Now a chance for Longford to reply in kind. Powerful run forward here from Michelle Farrell. Lovely run, right-footed kick from Farrell, drops over the crossbar. That's an excellent response from the Columkill player and the Longford captain. Really good response there. 1 goal to Roscommon, 1 point to Longford, and that will settle the away side in this fixture, get them back into the contest. Again, for the third time in a row, Helena Cummins just looks to dink that ball out towards Rachel Brady, and I suppose she would argue, well, sure, look, if it's working, why would I change it? And it is working. Caroline Conway now, ball back inside towards Sinead Kenny. Sinead Kenny looking for Joanne Craig. Joanne Craig, another player who didn't really find favour with Diane O'Hora when she was in. She didn't get too many. I don't even think she got a start. She was coming off the bench all right. Good move from Roscommon here. Ellen Irwin changing passes with Laura Fleming. Laura onto her right foot, but she doesn't quite get around that. There was a partial block on it. I'm going to see which Longford player got the block in. It is whoever has the wonderful pair of aquamarine boots back there. As a lifelong junior B, I never would have had the courage to wear boots of that colour. It was black all the way. It was the only thing I could ever get away with, or else I'd be seen as getting ideas above my station. But if you're making blocks like that, sure enough, it was Aisling Cosgrove made the block down, and she has earned her right to flashy boots with a good defensive manoeuvre like that. Laura Fleming now stands over the 45. It's been a difficult year for the St. Kieran's player from dead balls. Hasn't really worked out for her too well. Will she get her confidence back from the goal? Well, no, she won't be happy with that strike at all. Never got hold of it. And that ball kind of scuttles wide without really threatening anything in particular. And sure enough, somebody has intervened, and Rianne McGrath will be wearing... I don't even know how to describe that colour. Isn't this one of those things they always describe as the difference between men and women? Men know about 6 colours and they struggle after that. So we'll call it pink. I'm sure any of our female listeners can tune in and tell me. Yeah, I'm being told fluorescent pink. I'm happy enough with my pink assessment if I'm as close to the mark as that. So Longford in possession again with Ciara Mulligan. Definitely no shortage of possession for the Leinster County here so far. Long ball forward from Aisling Cosgrove. That's into heavy traffic. Neither Sarah Shannon nor Hannah Glennon can get a hand on it. And Aisling McAuliffe is able to scoop up the pieces. And ball in here now. Laura Fleming worked through the hands very quickly. Megan Kelly now decides, okay, that's a little bit too tight. Feeds it back inside towards Rachel Fitzmaurice. Last time I was watching Rachel Fitzmaurice, she was hurling for Roscommon Camogues against Clare. She had an excellent performance that day, scoring 3 points. Wasn't enough for Roscommon Camogues on that occasion. She also got a goal last time out against Laois as well. So she's certainly in good form across the two codes at the moment. Good work by Katie Crawford, bursting out of the Longford defence there. Wins a free as she comes out of the back line. And that's an excellent win from her point of view, and a chance for Longford to try and build up another attack here. Play continues even though there's treatment. I think it could be to Jenny Higgins. No, I see Jenny Higgins here in front of me. It could be Joanne Craig actually getting treatment at the moment in the Roscommon, and we're going to have a free from a tough angle. Pushing the back is what's being signalled by Gus Chapman there. And it's going to be an excellent opportunity for Longford here. Free, slight angle, but Emer Heaney, I would imagine, will stand over it. I watched Emer Heaney in the Leinster Junior Club final where... no, actually it's been left here for Michelle Farrell. I was saying I watched Emer Heaney in the Leinster Junior Club final. She had an absolutely fantastic performance in Ballymore's win over Kilmore that evening. So if she carries that form, obviously there's a big jump from junior club to intermediate inter-county, but at the same time there's no substitute for form. And there's Michelle Farrell, another player in form. She puts that one straight between the posts. Simple free kick, well won, and the first long restart of Roscommon, but again they retain their own kick out. Well won there, good run from Laura Fleming, feeds it inside towards Jenny Higgins, and now Roscommon with a chance to build an attack, but that's a sloppy hand pass from Caroline Conway. Rachel Fitzmaurice manages to recover, looks up and surveys her options. But again, Longford with the turnover. So far, Roscommon really, they're living off scraps up forward. They've only really had one meaningful shot on goal. They've made it count, rattling the back of Rianne McGrath's net. But otherwise, most of their attacks have ended in turnovers. So they're going to need to try and get more out of it. That's the first turnover, I think, at this end of the field. Or sorry, the second. The last long ball down the right-hand side also ended up in a turnover ball. Now here's a good chance for Roisin Wynne to attack. She's squaring up against Emer O'Brien. Cuts inside. Is she going to put on the afterburners here? She not quite. Again, she's just running across the line a little bit back inside towards Laura Fleming. And now a chance. Ball worked here towards Natalie McHugh. I think it's the first time for the Kilglass Gales player to get on the ball here. Caroline Conway now hoists that one up. Ball inside towards Rebecca Finan. She'll look to get back onto her left foot. Instead, feeds it inside. Sarah McVie now with the chance to come in. Powerful run from Sarah McVie, and the clash there with Katie Crawford. And that one's going to lead to a little bit of discomfort for the two players involved. Sarah McVie, there was no half measures in the way she was charging forward there. And Gus Chapman's just going to go in and have a chat with his umpires to see, take a second opinion on what he's just witnessed. It was one of those, it just looked like Sarah McVie was coming in at pace. It looked like a genuine attempt to tackle from Katie Crawford. But as I often say in these situations, just because somebody didn't mean to hurt you doesn't mean that they don't hurt you. It's not like your bones are suddenly made of cushions. So we'll see here. Sarah McVie is up. She looks like she's a little bit groggy, but she looks okay. But still treatment here for Katie Crawford. And we'll see then what Gus Chapman is going to restart with. I thought initially he signalled a free in for Roscommon here, but I wouldn't like to be held to that now. It's one of those, sometimes referees, when they think when you're hurt like that, he's standing over as if he still says, no, you can get all the treatment you want, but I'm still going to give you your warning. And sure enough, it's a signal as if it's a high tackle. He's actually going for a little bit of paperwork here. He's going for a little bit of paperwork. I'm wondering, could the Millenlockta player be in a little bit of trouble here? She is. It's a yellow card for Katie Crawford, and now this is a big opportunity for Roscommon here. We are 12 minutes into the game, and it's a yellow card for the Longford cornerback. So Roscommon going to have an extra player here now. It must be said, Roscommon had an extra player for long stretches against Laois. That free just drops off the crossbar. Rebecca Finan didn't put enough on it. And that's a disappointing free now from her point of view. I was just about to remark the last game out, Roscommon against Laois. There was 10 minutes in the second half when the Roscommon side had an extra player due to a yellow card to one of the Laois midfielders. I can't recall which, but a yellow card to one of the Laois midfielders. And Roscommon absolutely did not take advantage. If memory serves, it was 1-0 for Laois over the course of that 10 minutes. So they'll hope they can do a better job on it here on home soil and a ground where they did actually enjoy one win already this year. They took on Down here in the league and recorded a very good win, very enjoyable game that day actually. Back when Roscommon were making a bright start to the season, first 2 games of the year were 2 wins over Fermanagh and Down, but didn't continue like that. Longford as well, excellent start to the year, very competitive in a tough league group against Kildare and Laois. Hugely unlucky to lose out to Kildare on the final day, narrow 1-point defeat, and then of course that sensational win over Westmeath at the start of the championship. Long range free coming in here. That is a wonderful strike. That is an absolutely fantastic free from Michelle Farrell, right out on the left hand touchline, and she draws the sides level. That is absolutely superb. 1 goal to Roscommon, 3 points to Longford. And you'd have to say the very least that Longford deserve on the balance of play here is to be level. They've been very, very impressive so far, but they're going to have to do more defending here now as Jenny Higgins tries to break through some tackles. She's being held there by Michelle Noonan. No advantage, says Gus Chapman, and we're going to come back for the free. But it's a difficult position to try and engineer a chance. There'll be plenty of Longford players back. And so Laura Fleming, she decides to go sideways back in towards Jenny Higgins. Higgins tries to play the long ball forward, but a brilliant block down. Michelle Farrell, Longford able to gather up the second possession. Emer O'Brien coming onto the ball now and working that ball out. Michelle Farrell, I'll tell you, really playing a captain's role so far today. 2 excellent frees. Well, 1 good free, 1 excellent free, 1 superb point from play, and proving that she can do it at the other end of the field there as well. Of course, Michelle Farrell, former Ireland soccer international, so again, not unlike Rachel Fitzmaurice, she's a player who can do it across different sports as well. Ball out here towards Aisling Cosgrave, steps inside Rachel Brady, creates a bit of space. That's a little bit of a raffled hand pass, however. It gives Sarah McVeigh a chance to get the steal, but well done. Hannah Glennon wins the ball, comes back inside. Now a little bit of pace being injected by Michelle Noonan, but she messes up the solo, drops the ball, and it falls into the hands of Caroline Conway. It was a good chance for Michelle Noonan. Oh, mistake for Conway, hit the ball into the head of her own player. I'm sure that'll be all fun and games on the training ground, but I'm not sure what the referee is doing here. Technically, I suppose the player wasn't 13 metres from the ball. I see it's Aisling McAuliffe who's after taking the dunt on the side of the head. She wasn't 13 metres from the ball, so by rule, I suppose it's a throw up, but they'll feel a little bit hard done by with that. For those of you who might have an interest in it, the half-time score at Croke Park is Offaly 7 points, Roscommon 5 points. I stand here in front of you wearing my Offaly jersey. I won't lie, I would have been interested in being up there myself, but duty calls, and so far there's been an entertaining encounter here in Kiltoom as well. But obviously plenty of football left to play for in that one. I've been told there's a fair few goal chances. Back here in Kiltoom, sure enough, it is going to be a throw ball. I see it's Aoife O'Brien going up against Jenny Higgins here. And a lot of referees don't enforce that rule about no one else within 13 metres for the throw up too severely. But Gus Chapman was taking no mess in there. And sure enough, well won ball. Sarah Shannon came in and picked it up. Now a chance for Michelle Farrell again. Possibly a little bit outside of range, but having said that, based on the last kick now, which was right out on the sideline, no, she decides to go backwards, feeds it back in towards Aoife O'Brien, and Longford try and build again. So again, plenty of Roscommon players back. Well, they actually have 5 ahead of the ball, which in modern football is a fair commitment to the attack. Little jinking run here from Michelle Farrell. She's been squared up by Aisling McAuliffe. McAuliffe, of course, Strokestown player. You always want the border players when it comes to local derbies like this one. Ball inside here towards Louise Monaghan. Fumbles possession. little bit of a second thought there from Helena Cummins. She thought she was going to come out for it, then didn't. Ball back outside towards Sarah Shannon. High kick lofted up, and Longford are back in front. Their second lead of the game, and Sarah Shannon, Michelle Noonan actually put that one over. I'll tell you, I am absolutely blessed to have a little bit of Longford assistance here on my right hand side, because I saw the second digit number 1 on the jersey, and I said, no, that's Sarah Shannon, but happy to be corrected. So as we go for the water break, it's a goal to Roscommon, it's 4 points to Longford. I'll tell you, Longford will be very, very happy with the way they're playing in the early stages of this one. They've really taken the game to Roscommon. They're doing far more of the attacking play. Roscommon are absolutely just not making any impression at the far end. We've had one really fantastic attack, but other than that, you'd have to say that they just haven't made any impression. Obviously, big miss for Rebecca Finan to put that free down off the crossbar. So they're a long way from being out of this game. Obviously, it's only 4 points to 3, but in terms of general play, this new management team will feel that they have an awful lot of work to do. Since Diane O'Hora has stepped down, Michael Finnern, who of course did 4 years in charge of the Roscommon Intermediates, took them to the last 3 semi-finals. He stepped in to take over. We've also had Kieran Kilkenny, of course, familiar scene on both underage coaching and ladies football coaching. He's been heavily involved in both. So he's a native here of the St. Well, not a native of the St. Bridget's Club, but a member of the St. Bridget's Club, a native of Mayo. So he would have been a happy man last night. And Gary Wynne, of course, the father of Roisin and Saoirse Wynne, Roscommon panellists. So a new team trying to steady the ship for Roscommon and trying to ensure that they'll be back in intermediate football again next year. But it's Longford doing all the pressing at the moment. That's a good run forward by Orla Nevin. Ball inside, it's hung up a little bit high, but that's a lovely turn from Emer Heaney. Emer Heaney gets inside Sinead Kenny. Ball back outside towards Michelle Farrell. Little dummy solo, but it was well read. The hand came in there from Megan Kelly. Megan Kelly got the turnover. She's another player who's been very, very impressive. You'd have to say most of Roscommon's leading lights this year have been defensive. You'd say Megan Kelly and Roisin Wynne have been two of the best of them. Chance for Joanne Craig now. Ball fed inside towards Jenny Higgins. Jenny Higgins carrying the ball forward. She's well able to finish if she gets the chance. Hand pass in. Looking inside for Roisin Wynne. Roisin back in now. Rebecca Finan with the left foot. And Rebecca Finan puts it between the posts. Cleans that up. A little bit of messing on the way in. But also pace and direction. I think Roscommon are learning here. It's all about attack the game, drive at the opposition. Jenny Higgins that time with the run. She created the overlap. The little sidestep beat the last defender. That created the extra player. And therefore we had the score from Rebecca Finan. So draw game here in Kiltoom. 18 minutes gone. Breaking out of defence here. Powerful run from Leanne Keegan. Leanne Keegan, one of the players that Brian Noonan brought back into the side this year. There was a couple of players that maybe they had plenty of Longford experience but had stepped away from the panel in recent years. So Louise Monaghan and Leanne Keegan from his own club, as well as Anna McDonald from Killoo, who doesn't start here today but is somebody we might expect. So I'm just looking here, there was obviously an infringement close to goal. Emer Heaney and Sinead Kenny were tugging out of each other. So Gus Chapman reckons that it was the St. Crohn's player and the Roscommon captain who was doing more of the infringing. And we come back here for what should be a very simple free for a player of Michelle Farrell's ability. Unsurprisingly, again, that goes right over the black spot. Couldn't have been more accurate. And Longford restored their lead. Again with the short kick out. Helena Cummins happy to take the simple option if Longford give it to them. Ball worked out here now. Chance for Ellen Irwin. She'll happily drive forward. Another border player, St. Folia's, just the far side of the river. Between St. Folia's, of course, Ballyleague, the other side of Lanesborough. Caroline Conway now driving forward. Caroline Conway, she's on her left foot. She won't want to shoot from here. Ball inside towards Jenny Higgins. Higgins will be happier to shoot, but again with the block, it was telegraphed, and Claire Farrell, wonderfully experienced, clever defender. Claire Farrell could see what was coming there, and she read the block. But we have a pull on the jerseys as the ball was being fought for there. Looks like it's going to be a free out to Longford. Longford had won the turnover anyway. and now they get a chance to build another attack, leading by a single point. Aisling Crosgrove looks for the simple option, feeds it back towards Aoife O'Brien, her club colleague. Now the little bit of pace being injected by Ciara Mulligan. Ciara Mulligan, one of several players that was involved. I was reporting in Ballinasloe when these two counties met in an All-Ireland minor final a couple of years ago. Longford took the honours on that occasion, and a good few of those players out here this afternoon on both sides. Chance now for Emer Heaney. Heaney feeds that ball inside. Are we going to get a shot away from Louise Monaghan? No, goal chance Longford. Oh, excellent save from Alina Cummins. Really good save. That was really well worked by Longford. The chance was there for Louise Monaghan, but the well-timed run from Hannah Glennon. She came in, she just sprinted in between two defenders, was there to take the pass and kept her shot low, but didn't keep it far enough away from Helena Cummins. And that was a fantastic save from the Michael Glavies player. Really, really good block. And that keeps Roscommon in the game at a time when they're very definitely second fiddle now out there on the field. But they've a chance to draw level here again. There was a free just outside the 45-metre line, and a little bit of descent has brought it in. Now Laura Fleming has decided that that's outside my range. I'm still not going to go for it. Ball is worked here towards Caroline Conway, but Conway would not be somebody that is known for shooting. She'd be a defensive midfielder. Oodles of experience, came back to the Roscommon panel last year after 10 years out. I'm just looking, it seems like we already have a substitution on the... We already have a substitution on the Longford side there. Oh, the sin bin back in. The sin bin back in. There we go. That shows how bad my memory is. And sure enough, just the same as last time out. This time when Roscommon were a point up when the sin bin happened. And now they're a point down when it's restored. Longford have won that 10-minute period. 3 points to 1. So again, you'd have to say that Roscommon for the second game in a row haven't been able to take advantage of a sin bin, as Rachel Fitzmaurice tries to dink in this sideline ball. Chance now for Natalie McHugh to try and make an impression on the game. McHugh, hand pass inside towards Caroline Conway. Good use of possession here. Laura Fleming now. Oh, there's no other word for it. That's just a dreadful shot from Laura Fleming. Didn't get hold of that whatsoever. Just from the edge of the D, really should have been a score from there. And those kind of misses are going to sap the confidence of the Roscommon players, because overall, you'd have to say that Longford look far sharper going forward with 5 points on the board. Admittedly, 4 of them from the one player. So obviously that kick out didn't clear the 20-metre line. It was wide. It had a little bit of distance on it, but Leanne Keegan didn't let it get out. And we're back. Roscommon with another possession. Jenny Higgins again driving at goal here. Higgins trying to get onto her right foot. The option's not there. Natalie McHugh now back inside towards Fleming. Conway now. There's loads of players back here. Longford with 2 players on the edge of the Roscommon square and nobody in the 80 metres in between. Chance here for Conway. Hand pass inside. Jenny Higgins now. Will she be able to get the room to swing a boot? Doesn't quite. Higgins with the shot. Higgins does get the room to swing a boot, and she finds her way past Rianne McGrath for what is likely to be an absolutely vital goal for Roscommon. Hugely energising score. We have 23 minutes gone here, and Roscommon really, really needed that. They were struggling in a big way. It didn't look like they were going to unlock Longford there at all, but Higgins took possession, a little bit of a spin move, got her out of the tackle, and that was all she needed, was the room to swing a boot. And from that range, there was nothing Rianne McGrath could do about it. Either it was going to hit her or it was going to go hit the net. And it was the net it hit, so Roscommon go 2 points in front. Longford will feel that they definitely had the better of this game so far. They have the ability to put the scores on the board, but now they need to go forward and do it again. Emer O'Brien now carrying it up. Ball here towards Farrell and work back towards Aoife O'Brien. Longford slow build up. Roscommon trying to exert a little bit of pressure on the middle third, but of course the question will be, will they have the energy to keep that going over the course of the full game? Long ball down towards Michelle Farrell. She's got inside Caroline Conway. Lovely turn, lovely quick burst of pace. She steps inside again. Megan Kelly doesn't get the tackle away. Hand pass out here towards Emer Heaney. Heaney comes back onto her left foot. Doesn't quite wrap around it though, however. That ball goes wide of the target. That's a third wide of the game for Longford. It was a good opportunity, even if it was on the weaker foot of the Ballymore player. But Wasn't able to deliver the finish. And so it remains. Roscommon, 2 goals and a point, 7 points to Longford's 5 points. 2 points advantage for the home side here. Helena Cummins puts a little bit of snow on that one as she hoists it up. The break comes down and the break is well won by Claire Farrell. Really well done by the wing back there. Ball worked out here now towards the sideline. Michelle Noonan driving forward. Dinks that ball in. Heaney again looking to take on Sinead Kenny as she has pretty much every time. It's inside again towards Noonan. Back towards Heaney now. She wants to come onto her right foot. She gets a chance to come onto her right foot, but she's hooked that one too. That's 2 wides in a row. Longford just not making a count on the scoreboard here when they're getting these possessions. You can see they're definitely committing players forward to the attack, driving out Roscommon, but they're just not yielding the scores that they need. Laura Fleming now carries the ball forward. A little bit deep for her to be taken on the ball. Rachel Fitzmaurice will certainly be happy to run as well. She floats that inside towards Rebecca Finan. Quiet game so far for the Éire Óg player. Ball worked out here now towards Natalie McHugh. Natalie McHugh was forced to come backwards. Has to travel about 20 yards in the wrong direction. Chance for Roscommon, change the point of the attack. Looking for Ellen Irwin. Instead, the ball comes out here now. It's won by Joanne Craig. Suspicion of steps there from Natalie McHugh, but she manages to get away with it. She's fumbled possession, however. Ball comes out here. Roisin Wynne feeds it back. Finally, the shot comes in from Joanne Craig. She's looking at it, so it's close. The umpire gives a nod of the head, and it is between the posts. That's a big score for the Michael Glavies wing forward. Really important score to get Roscommon get Roscommon build their lead even further and build their confidence, because they're still not playing with a huge level of confidence here, even if they do hold a 3-point lead. Longford carrying the ball out of the back line. Michelle Noonan gets the hand pass away. Sarah Shannon now in possession. Tackle coming in from Ellen Irwin, but Shannon holds possession well. Gets the hand pass. They look for the little step move. Oh, that's really well done. Really well done. Orla Nevin manages to evade the tackler because she was under pressure there. Again, Longford now coming with the hard running straight down through the middle. That's really well worked. Emer O'Brien powering forward. Feeds it inside towards Heaney. Heaney, we've seen, she wants to come onto her right foot. She's back in. She comes off the left there. That looks like an accurate kick. That's exactly what she wanted to do. Straight between the posts. 6 points to Longford. 2-2 to Roscommon. Again, I'd say that's the 5th kick out that has just been dinked into that right corner. So clearly Longford happy enough to concede it. Now Roscommon try and break out. Sarah McVie again. Very strong ball carrier. Caroline Conway now dinks that in towards Aisling McAuliffe and Jenny Higgins now. Roscommon beginning to carry the ball with a little bit more fluency, but that's not a good kick. The sweeper was there. It was well read by Michelle Noonan. She had dropped back, and it was just her failure to control it means that Roscommon win possession again. Ball trying to be carried into the attack there by Aisling McAuliffe, but it didn't work. And now Longford have a chance to strike on the break here. Sarah Shannon tries to carry the ball forward. Steps inside, but there's 2 tacklers there. A little bit of a handoff, but she gets away with it. And Jenny Higgins decides, well, no, you're not going to do that to me. She crossed the arms in front and said, if you're going to go American football style block, I'll go with you. And Higgins there, lovely tackle to dispossess Ciara Mulligan. Chance for Roscommon now, although the hand pass doesn't quite go where it needs to go. Chance for Rebecca Finan now. She'll want to come onto her left foot. No, overcarried. She gave the little dummy. She had the chance to give the ball, and then she pulled it back in again. And Gus Chapman said, no, you had your chance to play it, but you didn't take it, and And so we're looking at a temporary substitution on the Roscommon side here. I see Laura Fleming making her way off. We'll see in a minute who's coming in for her. Without seeing the number, I would say it could be Kate Nolan coming onto her home field here in Kiltoom. But I'll identify in a minute when I see a number, but based on the appearance, it could be Kate. Anyway, Longford carrying the ball out with Leanne Keegan. Roscommon substitute coming in there. Yeah, it does definitely look like Kate Nolan. Sure enough, that's who it is. And she comes in to try and make an impression. Long ball forward here now. Again, Louise Monaghan dinking that ball in. That's well won. Emer Heaney. Emer Heaney got out between 2 Roscommon defenders there. Comes back inside. There's an advantage being played here. No advantage accruing. And that's going to be a free and a pull back there by Rachel Brady. I think it was Rachel Brady. It might have been Megan Kelly, but I think it was Rachel Brady with a little pull back there. And referee makes a tick like that. So in other words, don't be doing that again. So good scoring chance here now. Good scoring chance here now for Michelle Farrell. And based on her form so far, you'd have to say that, again, she'll fancy her chances here. Range might be a little bit of an issue, maybe. But I suspect she should have enough. Oh, she definitely won't lack for range anyway. No, that is inch perfect. Inch perfect, straight between the posts. And we're back to the bare minimum between the sides. 2 goals and 2 to Roscommon. 7 points to Longford. Oh, missed hand pass there. Megan Kelly has to throw her body on the line to win that one. Jennifer Higgins didn't really see where she was going with that one, and it could have gone badly wrong. Emer Heaney was loitering with intent, but Megan Kelly was able to get in, win the ball, and the danger has been averted eventually. So Roscommon building up again here now. Jenny Higgins feeds this ball forward. Joanne Craig, quick distribution towards Laura Fleming. Good fair hit coming in from Michelle Farrell. Neither player takes a backward step and we play onwards. Caroline Conway hoisting that in. Looking up towards Rebecca Finan. Katie Crawford misjudged it. Finan comes onto it again but doesn't manage to get the shot away. Back inside towards Natalie McHugh. Natalie McHugh with the right-footed shot, but that's dropping way short. Rianne McGrath didn't deal with that particularly well. And in the end, it was a case of just stay out of harm's way, palm that ball over the end line. The bounce just misjudged the minor player. Obviously, really, really big week for Rianne McGrath this week. She's also involved in the Leinster minor semi-final, where Longford will take on Kildare. So very short 45 there. I would question if that even travelled the 13 metres, but it's not relevant whether it does or not, because that is the half-time whistle here. Interesting contest is the best way I could describe it. Longford have played far more of the football so far, but they haven't been able to. They've taken the lead on a couple of occasions, but they don't have it right now. They haven't been able to keep the goals out. A really excellent move for Roscommon for the first instance. Eventually, it fell to Roisin Wynne to set up Laura Fleming for Roscommon's first score of the game, which was a goal. Their second goal coming from Jennifer Higgins, and those two scores have been absolutely crucial. They're keeping Roscommon in a game where you'd have to say Longford are slightly the better side, but it's all about scores on the board. There's no wind advantage here to speak of. If anything, it's going to favour Longford in the second half, but I would say it's fairly minor to say the least of it. So it is all to play for here. TG4 Ladies Intermediate Championship relegation semi-final at Kiltoom. Half time, it is Roscommon 2 goals and 2 points, Longford 7 points. So we're getting ready to be back in action here at Kiltoom. This TG4 Ladies Intermediate Championship relegation semi-final. It is absolutely up in the balance here. Roscommon leading by a single point, 2-2 to 7 points. But you'd say that Longford, plenty of good attacking play in the first half. 7 scores on the board to 4, obviously. But they haven't managed yet to rattle the net. One glorious goal chance there, kicked in by Hannah Glennon, but a fantastic save by Helena Cummins in the Roscommon goal has preserved the lead for the home side. We're getting ready to restart here. Gus Chapman getting ready to throw up the ball. I'm looking around. I don't see any substitutes at the moment. I see Laura Fleming is back in. Kate Nolan had been in temporarily for her. And we are underway here in the second half at Kiltoom. And just as they did in the first half, Jenny Higgins taps the ball down for Caroline Conway. And it's Roscommon on the attack. Laura Fleming carrying the ball in here. Higgins is off her shoulder. Higgins spins around, tries to take on Aoife O'Brien. She bursts past O'Brien. Good run from Higgins. Hand pass across. Surely a goal. Simple tap in for Natalie McHugh. And that's an unbelievable start for Roscommon to the second half. Lovely burst of pace from Jenny Higgins, and Aoife O'Brien just simply wasn't able to keep pace whatsoever. And it ended up with a simple tap-in goal. The ball was floated over the head of Rianne McGrath, and the easiest goal that Natalie McHugh could ever dream of getting. Joanne Craig wins that ball now from the kick-out, feeds it inside towards Laura Fleming. There's another goal chance here. Oh, the hand pass doesn't go to hand. Poor delivery. Well won there by Joanne Craig. Gets in, try and win the spare ball, but doesn't manage to get it at the second attempt. That's a harsh over-carrying call on Ciara Mulligan now. Ciara Mulligan picked that ball up off the ground. She didn't actually take any steps. Now, I understand you're only allowed the few seconds, but there was heavy tackling coming in there, and it didn't feel like she was granted too long. And now a chance for Rebecca Finan to tack over another point here, and suddenly we'll have a very, very different game. That's straight over the posts. That's a second point of the game for Rebecca Finan. But all of a sudden, we have a completely different game here in Kiltoom. It's now 3-3 to Roscommon, 7 points to Longford, and suddenly we have a 5-point gap. Now, there's no doubt there are scorers in this Longford team, but suddenly now that changes the complexion of things completely from the point of view of Brian Noonan's side as they try and rebuild and get back into this game after that blistering start. So, 3-3 to Roscommon, 7 points to Longford, and we have a free out for Longford here. Ball worked inside, and standing over at the moment is Orla Nevin. Orla Nevin dinks the ball down the sideline. Ball inside here towards Louise Monaghan. Louise Monaghan again bursts past Aisling McAuliffe, looks to take on Jenny Higgins in the tackle. Monaghan drives past Higgins, but her ball doesn't go where it needs it to go. Megan Kelly sweeps it up. Ball outside here now, well worked towards Joanne Craig and on towards Sarah McVie. Sarah McVie being tackled by Claire Farrell. There'll be no shortage of fitness in those two players. Inside towards Higgins again, and now a chance for Roisin Wynne to take it in. Roisin Wynne into Laura Fleming, dinks that in towards Joanne Craig, needed to gather it at the first attempt, didn't quite, scramble for possession on the ground there, and it looks like Hannah Glennon actually was in to win it. Sure enough, it was Hannah Glennon coming back from the corner forward position. So she was in there to win that crucial turnover ball. Longford just trying to stop the bleeding at the moment after conceding a quick fire 1-1. Need to get a score on the board themselves and get back into it. No obvious option there for Michelle Noonan. She ends up playing the ball back towards Rianne McGrath. Pressure coming on from Roisin Wynne. Roisin will tackle all day here, but that's good worked out of defence. Michelle Noonan, lovely floated pass up towards Michelle Farrell. Michelle Farrell sailing down that right wing. Sinead Kenny trying to get the tackle in. Doesn't manage to do it. Emer Heaney now. Emer Heaney bursts past Ellen Irwin. Lovely run, Emer Heaney. She's gone inside another tackle. Feeds the ball back inside. Chance here for Michelle Farrell. She's hung that one up. It's close. Not quite. Doesn't curl in enough though, however. It's gone wide right of the target, and it's a missed opportunity for Longford. Still trailing by 5. Again, the quick kick out on the Roscommon side. That's been taken into traffic there by Eleanor. I'm not sure, is it Rachel Brady or Ellen Irwin? It was Ellen Irwin indeed. Rachel Brady now in possession. Ball forward towards Caroline Conway. Conway gets down and wins that well. Now towards Laura Fleming. Laura Fleming still playing very, very deep. She got on the scoreboard with 1 goal in this game, but hasn't really been able to make as much of an attacking contribution as she might have liked. That ball is fumbled onto the ground, and I suspect we're looking at a throw ball here. Sure enough, Gus Chapman going to throw the ball in. I'm looking there at the moment, standing up between them is Emer O'Brien is going to go in for it alongside Jennifer Higgins. Jennifer Higgins, she won the 2 throw-ins at the start of the game. Didn't quite win that, but it broke kindly for Roscommon all the same. Inside towards Roisin Wynne. Wynne now forward towards Laura Fleming. Laura Fleming was being held. No advantage accruing, says Gus Chapman. There was a chance there for Natalie McHugh, all right, but Natalie McHugh would have been shooting under pressure, and they probably feel that... it was as well take the dead ball opportunity. So if you change on the Roscommon side, I see that it's Rachel Brady who's going off. And on the Roscommon side, it's Niamh Feeney who's coming in. Niamh Feeney, her club colleague, comes into the side to replace her, with 5 minutes gone in the second half. And you'd have to imagine Rebecca Finan, free taker of her calibre, this should be a fairly straightforward one, straight in front of the posts, maybe 25 metres out from goal in total. Hangs it up with her left foot, and sure enough, that's right between the posts. And now we have, all of a sudden, we have 6 points between the teams. It really isn't a 6-point game, but there you go. That's how these things can change quickly. So Rianne McGrath surveying her options. Longford keeping it very, very narrow. Dinking that ball out there, trying to find Katie Crawford. Pressure coming on from Rachel Fitzmaurice. And Longford managed to break out of defence, but it was a risky play. Eventually worked out in their favour. Good, powerful run coming out there from Leanne Keegan. Leanne Keegan trying to back up her player at midfield, who is Michelle Farrell. Michelle Farrell, long ball forward, looking for Emer Heaney. Powerful hit there from Ellen Irwin. Managed to spill the ball out. Heaney wins it at the second attempt, but if you like, the danger is gone because Roscommon have had time to funnel bodies back. Longford building up the play again. Play coming out here on the right hand side, driven forward by Aisling Cosgrove. Longford just need to get a settling score at the start of this second half. It's unfair to say it's been all Roscommon, but Roscommon have had their chances and they have made them count. They have put 1-2 on the board, and they've suddenly put a little bit of daylight between the sides. Aisling Cosgrove carrying it in here. Will Emer Heaney be able to get a shot away? She's going in the narrow side, feeds it back out towards Cosgrove. Cosgrove, not somebody who'd be comfortable shooting, but maybe she should have had a go there. Misplaced the pass. Caroline Conway was able to read it. Rachel Fitzmaurice tries to carry the ball out there, but Orla Nevin dispossesses her. Got the pressure in. Forced the turnover. Ball down towards Emer Heaney. Emer Heaney takes the ball. She's not really in a dangerous position here, however. She's blocked down. Jenny Higgins gets the rob. Ball stays in play. Well won by Higgins. Inside towards Laura Fleming now. Chance for Roscommon to strike on the break. Ball driven forward here. First touch of the game for Niamh Feeney. Niamh Feeney, ball inside, worked again towards Laura Fleming. Fleming now on towards Roisin Wynne. Hand pass up. Will Joanne Craig be able to get to it? No, Michelle Farrell again. Really good work, Michelle Farrell. She's kicked 5 points in this game, but I'll tell you, her attacking contribution is only half it. She's made 2 excellent defensive contributions as well. As we wait for an injury stoppage here. Joanne Craig still down after taking that hit, and we wait for that. I am, as a native of Ferban, I'm delighted to bring you the news during this stoppage that it is all over at Croke Park, and it has finished Offaly 114, Roscommon 111. Oofalia, oofalia, oofalia. I would like to shout that a lot louder, but I will try and maintain some thin veneer of professionalism while I do this job. But a thin veneer is all it is at the best of times. Long ball forward there from Longford, scooted out over the line by Megan Kelly, and it'll be a Longford sideline ball. Ball inside now, worked here towards Michelle Noonan, working down the right wing, but that's well read by Megan Kelly. It has to be said the Roscommon defence has really come into this game in the second half, and Megan Kelly's been at the heart of that. She's after picking up a couple of very good turnover balls. Jenny Higgins now pulled back there at midfield. No real attempt to legally tackle there, and that's going to be a free for the now Clonagale player. Obviously played most of her career with her native Western Gaels, but now... I'm not sure, is she married yet or is she just engaged? But either way, very much part of the club infrastructure down in Clonagale. And Clonagale, after winning the Roscommon Division 1 League title, will hope that they can add a championship title. Good chance here for Roscommon now. Caroline Conway carrying the ball in. Ball back outside towards Higgins, but again she's blocked down, and that's well read. Katie Crawford picks up the loose pieces, and Longford drive out of defence. Powerful run here from Sarah Shannon. Looks like she was being fouled, but no, says Gus Chapman, and actually he gives the over-carrying call. I'll tell you, that's a big turnover from Roscommon's point of view. Momentum definitely going Roscommon's way. They're just looking to try and pile on the scores here now at this stage. Rachel Fitzmaurice taking possession here. She's been hugely active in this game. Hasn't got on the score sheet yet. Ball inside towards Natalie McHugh. McHugh, of course, who got that goal at the start of the second half. Ball inside towards Laura Fleming, another one of the goal scorers. Worked inside here towards Joanne Craig now. Craig outside of the right boot. Ball drops over the crossbar, and Roscommon continue to pile on the scores here, beginning to add a little bit of a gap. Joanne Craig there with that score floats over the crossbar, making it 3-5 to 7 points, and Roscommon now leading by a much more comprehensive double scores 7-point margin. So they've really taken control of this game during the opening stages of the second half. We've 10 minutes played here in Kiltoom, and it's all going Roscommon's way at the start of this second half. It was a tight first half. Oh, that could change it now a little bit. Looked like a high enough tackle from Natalie McHugh as Katie Crawford was coming out of the defence. Now, it was just below the shoulder, so she might get away with it. It looks like she is going to get away with it. It was just below the shoulder, which was just enough to earn the reprieve. But I'd say there was a moment there when she might have wondered if a black card was coming. But one or another, we remain 15 players on 15 here. Ball dinked out towards the right-hand side as Longford try and build another attack. They haven't got their attack going in this half whatsoever. Just one wide ball, and again, that's a coughed-up possession. Aisling McAuliffe got in to read it. Scooped up the long ball. There was a kind of an aimless long delivery forward. And now Roscommon suddenly with a chance to try and add another score. Now here's a turnover ball for Longford. This time Roscommon don't have cover back. Chance for them to try and do something with it. Hand pass doesn't quite go to hand, but it's still Michelle Farrell in possession. Farrell now sprays that ball wide. Ciara Mulligan comes onto possession here. Ciara Mulligan looks to try and step inside. Ciara Mulligan with the right-footed shot. Ciara Mulligan between the posts. And finally, with 11 minutes gone in the second half, Longford get themselves off the mark in this half, so to cut the gap back to 6 points. Lovely run from Ciara Mulligan. She was always going to have a touch too much pace for Caroline Conway in that situation with so much open country. As I think that's another Longford substitute, or a first Longford substitution there. Lauren Maguire coming into the team, and it looks like she's replacing Aisling Cosgrove. Lauren Maguire, of course, been an impact sub the whole way through this championship campaign for Longford. 2 points. She's kicked 3 points off the bench against Westmeath, 2 against Wexford, 2 against Sligo. So she's been brought in, obviously minor footballer. They don't want to overwork her. But they'll need something special from her here. I'll tell you, if she can chip in with 2 or 3 points in this game now, it could be crucial to Longford as they try and work their way back into the tie. Rebecca Finan now with a chance to stretch Roscommon's lead again. We're getting close to the country where you're getting close to the territory where you'd say Longford will probably need at least 1 goal to get back into this. Certainly if Rebecca Finan finds the target here, and that looks like an accurate strike, it is an accurate strike. That's Rebecca Finan's 4th point. And Roscommon move on to 3-6. As I look down here to my left, I see the scoreboard is a more manual version. There was a different one here before. Whatever has happened, the digital one not working. As I say, if you're an electrician in the Kiltoom area, come out here. We have a job for you. But I suppose I'll be careful of what I'll say because I'm not paying for it. So there you go. They certainly aren't lacking for. They aren't lacking for development and improvement around here. A fantastic new renovation project being done here. There was a really big buy a brick fundraiser that generated a huge amount of income, and it's going to be an absolutely fantastic facility. It's a fantastic facility already, but it's going to be something incredible for one of Roscommon's most successful clubs and for all of South Roscommon fairly soon. And certainly the ladies team here are one of many teams in the club that's quite successful, like that intermediate champions last year. Bridges would have been a very, very successful ladies club going back maybe 10 or 20 years, won loads of senior titles here in the county, won an All-Ireland Junior at one stage. Slipped back there a little bit, but they're now back to competing very, very strongly at underage level. And obviously last year's intermediate champions reached a Division 2 league final this year as well, although they lost out to Boyle on that occasion. So certainly things being rebuilt on every level, physically and football wise here in Kiltoom. Longford again looking to try and break out of defence with Leanne Keegan. Powerful run here, fires that ball out to the sideline towards Sarah Shannon. Sarah Shannon will add pace to it as well. Looks to try and drive at Roisin Wynne, but Roisin Wynne is not going to be beaten too easily. Eventually Shannon just simply bulldozes her way past her. Wynne recovers, ball back inside now towards Claire Farrell. Claire Farrell steps inside Caroline Conway. Farrell, lovely powerful run here. Farrell, will she get a chance to get a shot away? Working that ball inside. Looked like it was an attempt to try and get the ball into the hands of Lauren Maguire, but didn't quite go to hand. Not a good opportunity. Looks to me like there was an advantage. Oh, I was going to say it looked like there was an advantage being played, but apparently not. It was just Gus Chapman giving the ball back to the sideline. So substitution on the Roscommon side here, and Kate Nolan coming in. She saw a few minutes of action in the first half when Laura Fleming was off temporarily. Now she comes in for Laura's club colleague Rachel Fitzmaurice. And I'd imagine we're probably looking at the water break fairly soon. There's 16 minutes gone here, but no, we're quite happy to continue, says Gus Chapman. And Kate Nolan straight away wins a kick out, wins a free, so that's a positive start. But then what does she do? Kicks the free about 10 metres away, so doesn't quite cover the requisite distance. I've always said that's one of those rules in Gaelic games which is enforced selectively, is the kindest way to put it. I know an awful lot of referees that have probably never given it in their lifetime. So you're entitled to feel a little bit hard done by when it's given against you, even though it's 100% in the rule book. So Michelle Farrell here standing over this free kick. That one's going to drop short. It's going to be well in play, but Longford look like they have the advantage coming out for it. Emer Heaney with the right footed shot. It's curling. Did it curl enough? It did. Lovely strike, Emer Heaney. She had a lot of pressure there. She had players coming on the back of her, but she managed to get the strike away, and it is 3-6 to 9 points. Longford just about keeping in touch here. That's Heaney's second point of this match. As the gap is back down to 6 and we break for the water break. And I'm looking at one of the Longford management team coming in, and he is not particularly happy. He's having rather stern words there with Gus Chapman. I'd be lying if I could tell you which one it is from this distance, but one way or another, he's a little bit unhappy with something that he's seen, because I've no doubt there's an element of frustration in the fact that they're just not getting the clear-cut goal chances. This has been a very, very evenly contested game throughout, but at the same time, 3-6 to 9 points is it's still something of I won't call it a mountain to climb, but it's a fairly steep hill, all right. Am I offending Roscommon people if I'll call it something like a Slieve Bawn? Local people call it a mountain, but I don't know if it really qualifies. I'm not sure where the line is. I'll have to go back to that. What was that Hugh Grant film, the Englishman who went up a hill and came down a mountain, or something like that? They had a whole thing about how high it had to be a mountain. I'll stop rambling about bad films now. As Roscommon build another attack, Kate Nolan finds Joanne Craig down the right hand side. Craig feeds the ball inside now. Roisin Wynne takes possession in the corner. Craig, she ghosts in between two tacklers. Leanne Keegan holds her up, however. Ball back outside towards Rebecca Finan. That's a poor effort from the Éire Óg player. Pushes that one wide. Roscommon in general have been more accurate when they've been in front of posts here, but Finan's had a couple of misses, one off the crossbar and now that one. As Rianne McGrath surveys her options, she's looking out here towards Claire Farrell, but Joanne Craig gets in well. It was a 50-50 ball. Craig knocks Katie Crawford to the ground. Back in towards Caroline Conway. Laura Fleming now. Will she get a chance to get a shot away? Laura Fleming comes on to her right. She gets the shot away all right, but it's not where she wanted to put it. Now it's just a question of, is there a free coming for a late hit here? I thought I heard a whistle, but The signal from Chapman is not entirely clear, but the fact that he's going to his notebook, he must be writing something down. And most referees I know of don't record wides, so sure enough, it is a free in. The late hit came in on Laura Fleming as she was shooting. It was one of those, defenders always feel they're kind of entitled to a little bit of leeway on these things. My opinion on it varies depending on whether I'm being asked to play in the forwards and the backs. So one or another, Rebecca Finan pops that one over the bar, and Roscommon again pushed their lead back out to 7. The lead has been alternating between 6 and 7 points most of the way through this half, thanks to that fast start to the second half from Roscommon, where they got a goal in 2 without reply. Ball out here towards Leanne Keegan. Roscommon still committing plenty of players forward to the tackle here. Keegan manages to win the possession, fires that ball forward. Now we have a chance here for Ciara Mulligan to try and break the tackle. Caroline Conway comes in. Well won, Caroline Conway. Now I have no idea why there was a free there. It's been signalled for a pull. Doesn't really matter. It was Roscommon possession anyway, so it doesn't really change the game. All it does is slow it down. Anyway, Jenny Higgins feeds that ball forward. Chance for Kate Nolan to do something in attack. She's had a couple of key defensive interventions already. Doesn't quite get that hand pass away, but wins at the second attempt. Rebecca Finan now, a little bit outside a distance. Her arm was being pulled back as she tried to hand pass that ball there. That one was clear cut all right. And Claire Farrell has caught the attention of Gus Chapman with that one. So chance for Rebecca Finan here now, looking at a left-footed strike just outside the D, so we're probably talking about 35, 36 metres here. It'll be on the edge of range, I would suggest, for the Aero corner forward. No, she's got the distance all right, and she had a couple of metres along with it as she pops it between the posts. That's now 6 points for Finan this afternoon, and you'd have to say at this stage now, Longford, it's no longer a case of needing a goal to win the game. You suspect they might need 2. And that kind of kick out is not going to help, because even if Leanne Keegan was able to get to it, it would have been a free in because it wasn't going to cross the 20-metre line. So all the pressure down here at this end. Laura Fleming dinks that ball in. She's looking for Rebecca Finan but doesn't find her. Longford gather up the loose pieces. Emer O'Brien wins the breaking ball. Ball out here towards Katie Crawford. Katie Crawford steps inside the tackle. Rebecca Finan looks like she's seriously injured there, and I suspect we could be looking at a stoppage. She was down hurt. It was hard to tell exactly. I don't recall. There definitely wasn't. There wasn't any, shall we say, strong impact there in the sense of there was no foul play or anything like that. But it looks like she's kind of holding maybe her shoulder. But you'd have to assume we will resume with a Longford possession here. And it is Leanne Keegan standing over it. Just a minor matter of about 120 metres of ground to cover, as it looks like Sinead Glennon is coming into the Roscommon side here. And Sinead Glennon comes in. There's also a Longford there's actually 2 Longford substitutions as well. So you'll have to give me a second to try and keep track of this. On the Roscommon side, it's Sinead Glennon comes in to replace Natalie McHugh. And on the Longford, I'm going to say that definitely Hannah Glennon made way anyway. And I see Hannah Glennon and Louise Monaghan are the 2 that have made way. And I'll tell you in a second as soon as I can identify who has gone in. As Longford try and build the ball out of defence here, Katie Crawford takes possession. That was a high hit from Sinead Kenny. Sinead Kenny a long way from her full-back position there. But at this stage now, you'd have to imagine slowing up the game won't bother Roscommon in the slightest. They hold an 8-point lead here. 3 goals and 8 points to Roscommon. 9 points to Longford. It's been an even game in terms of overall play, but Roscommon have got the goals, and that has made all the difference here. Ball down towards Emer Heaney. Emer Heaney looking to take on Aisling McAuliffe. Advantage coming, but Heaney keeps breaking through. Lovely, powerful run. Heaney still going. Oh, what a wonderful save. Wonderful save. Now the referee's given a penalty. I didn't see a free that close to goal. He definitely was allowed. He allowed 2 advantages First for the foul by Aisling McAuliffe, the second for the foul by Megan Kelly. He obviously deemed that the foul by Megan Kelly was close to goal, close enough to deem a penalty. It's something, if we had instant replay, I might say otherwise, but one way or another, it doesn't matter. There's a penalty coming here, and Michelle Farrell, you'd have to imagine, probably as good a penalty taker as there is in the country. But Helena Cummins, regardless of the fact that it didn't matter, she made a stunning save there. So Helena is in form, but there was nothing Helena could do about that. That is a perfect finish, top corner of the net, and that brings Longford right back into this. They probably need another one to go along with it, but suddenly they have a glimmer of hope here. Can they build on it? Niamh Feeney driving out of defence. Sarah McVie looking to push down the right-hand sideline. She burst past Aoife O'Brien. Lovely run, Sarah McVie feeding that ball inside, but that's great cover by Orla Nevin. Now, can Longford build on their momentum? They have the goal on the scoreboard. They need to start pushing forward here and seeking to build on it. 5 points in between the teams. Michelle Noonan fires the ball out here towards Claire Farrell. Claire Farrell has been full of running from start to finish. She'll tell you, no doubt, it's all because of the diet. She's a sports nutritionist by trade. I'm sure if you have clearly, as they say, high performance vehicle getting good fuel in, isn't that what they say? One way or another, Claire Farrell now wins the free at midfield, looking to try and generate a chance. Nothing on, so she goes back towards Katie Crawford. I was going to say, of those substitutions, Anna McDonald is definitely one of them that has gone in. I still have to identify the second one who's gone in. Sorry, Ciara Healy. Ciara Healy is the other. So Anna McDonald and Ciara Healy gone into the Longford attack on that recent substitution to replace Hannah Glennon and Louise Monaghan. So Roscommon possession now, back in their own half. They'll try and work this sideline ball forward. It's Megan Kelly in possession at the moment. Try and keep the pressure off. We have another substitute on the Longford side, and the Sorcha Dawson this time coming in for Ciara Mulligan. So Sorcha Dawson of the Ballymore club, she comes in for Ciara Mulligan. As the Longford team understandably empty the bench, get every pair of fresh legs they can onto the field, try and change the game. That's a lovely interception by Orla Nevin. Orla Nevin feeds that ball inside back towards Heaney. Heaney, chance now for Anna McDonald. Anna McDonald with the shot goes over the bar. It was a great opportunity. Suddenly there's a bit of a comeback coming here now. We have, I'd say, approximately 5 minutes of normal time left, and Longford now suddenly just 4 points behind. Helena Cummins going with the long kick out, but there's no Roscommon player in the postcode of where that one was landing. So Aoife O'Brien hoovers it up. O'Brien feeds it forward towards Claire Farrell. Ball inside now. Chance for another one of the substitutes to make an impact here. Lauren Maguire, just drops short. And Roscommon are able to clear. Sinead Kenny overshoots the pass, fires it over the head of Laura Fleming. You'd have to say there's a good few Roscommon players at this stage. They just don't look like their fitness is holding up. They're under pressure. There's hands on hips occasionally. So Longford going to keep piling on the pressure. Michelle Farrell definitely won't run out of energy. She tries to float that ball inside. Just a little bit too far in front of Ciara Healy. Instead it drifts wide. Looks like Sarah Shannon in possession now. First touch for Sorcha Dawson. Sorcha Dawson back out here. That's a good strike from Ciara Healy, but just falls short. And Helena Cummins has been in excellent form here today. She'll definitely be in the player of the match conversation when you think of the two fantastic saves. Okay, the second one didn't make a difference because it ended up being a penalty. But that save in the first half to deny Hannah Glennon was hugely important, and she's been very solid under the high ball as well. Roscommon breaking out now. It's Roisin Wynne in possession. Feeds it inside. Roisin Wynne on towards Caroline Conway. Conway inside towards Jenny Higgins. Higgins, wonderful goal in the first half. Hasn't really been as much of a factor in the second. Now driving forward here. She, of course, I'm selling her short. I'm forgetting obviously she had the key role in setting up that goal for Natalie McHugh. But they could do with another intervention here, and that's a sloppy tackle. Sorcha Dawson with the tackle on Sinead Glennon, and that's exactly what Roscommon needed in that situation. Not alone is it a scoring chance, but it's a scoring chance and a timed and an opportunity to draw the ball, or an opportunity to let the clock run down another little bit. Let those minutes take over. I see a substitute waiting to come in. It's Aisling Hanley waiting to come in on the Roscommon side. She played in the Connacht Minor B final during the week. So again, has a fair bit of mileage on the clock in recent weeks. But Rebecca Finan puts that between the posts. That's a 7th point of the game for Rebecca Finan. And that looks like an absolutely vital score for Roscommon, 3-9 to 110. As Aisling Hanley comes in, and it looks like Finan is actually the one who's being replaced. So Aisling Hanley comes in for Finan with something in the ballpark of, I would say, 3 minutes of normal time remaining, but there will be a little bit of stoppage time as well. We've had a couple of injury breaks. So all is not lost for Longford, but you get the feeling that they're going to need to hit that Roscommon net a second time very, very soon to put a little bit of pressure on here. So Rianne McGrath's kick out, hoists it up, but again Joanne Craig. Joanne Craig has picked off two of McGrath's kickouts in this half. The hand pass is in. Oh, it was a great chance for Kate Nolan, but the hand pass didn't go where it needed to go. Nolan got the shot away, but it was straight at McGrath, and the Killoo player positioned herself well, was able to gather the ball in and get it back out and work it out here. Claire Farrell now hoist that ball forward. That's a little bit of an aimless kick, and Roisin Wynne well in there. Roisin Wynne gets in ahead of Lauren Maguire and wins that ball. Roscommon slowing it down now. Caroline Conway feeds the ball across here. They'll be quite happy to just let things tick along. They have a 5-point lead. Sinead Kenny driving forward now. Sinead Kenny wouldn't be somebody who'd be looking to shoot. Ball outside towards Sinead Glennon. She and Aisling Hanley. They'd definitely be happy to shoot for the posts. Hanley with the strike. Oh, just drops a little bit short, and Rianne McGrath is able to pick up the pieces. Batted clear. Longford back in possession. But they're not playing it in the areas of the field where they want to. Now a chance for Michelle Farrell to drive forward. Michelle Farrell, she's got inside Aisling McAuliffe. Farrell dinks that ball down, but looking for Aoife O'Brien down the sideline, but hasn't really worked out, and Jenny Higgins has got in well. Feeds that ball back inside towards Laura Fleming. Kate Nolan now. Kate Nolan takes on possession a second time. Driving forward, steps inside. Kate Nolan holding possession. That little bit of freshness for the UL student making a difference here. Long ball down, looking for Aisling Hanley, but that's really well done, Sorka Dawson. That ball was there to be won. It's still there to be won on the ground. Was it Sorka Dawson or Katie Crawford? I could be... No, Katie Crawford. My apologies to you, Katie, if you're listening back to this later. Don't mean to take credit away from your excellent turnover, and that was well done there. Longford now driving forward a second time. Orla Nevin has been very strong in possession throughout this afternoon. She looks to sprint past Aisling McAuliffe, does so with ease, gets inside Caroline Conway. Nevin has beaten 3 tacklers now at this stage, looking for Hemer Heaney. Heaney, she's been held. Is there another penalty coming? There is another penalty coming. Absolutely, I can see there was 3 players around Emer Heaney, and the Ballymore player couldn't get her kick away, but that was all about the run from Orla Nevin. She looked 3 Roscommon players in the eye and said, I can take you each one, 1, 2, 3, burst past all 3, created the overlap, put the hand pass into the perfect position, and suddenly now this game could get very, very, very interesting for the closing stages. We are in the 60th minute. Michelle Farrell, well, the first thing, this penalty has got to go in, and she has pushed it wide. Oh, that is an outcome you never would have predicted there. Her first penalty was absolutely inch perfect, but that one just pushed it far too far wide. Oh, and that short kick out nearly picked off there by Lauren Maguire. Lauren Maguire, unlucky. It looked like there was a hand on her back there, but instead the referee decides that no, she handled the ball on the ground and it's a free out. That missed penalty, you have to imagine that based on that, it's going to be Longford who's going to be taken on. And sure enough, there's the final whistle. Not an awful lot of stoppage time played here, just a single minute of stoppage time. But given the 5-point advantage, I'd say Longford will feel that... now, if they had got that penalty and he only played a minute, they would have been entitled to feel a little bit hard done by, I'd say. But given that it was 3-9 to 110, that was an awful lot to expect to cover in the space of maybe another extra minute or two that might have been added. It's all moot at this stage. It doesn't matter. Roscommon will 100% play in the TG4 Intermediate Championship again next year. Longford have one more chance to save their status at this level. They now have to, they'll be eager viewers next week. Of course, the game between Offaly and Fermanagh from Abbey Park in Boyle will be streamed on the TG4 streaming service as well. So do tune in for that one. Longford supporters and Longford players and management certainly will be tuned in, because they'll be playing the losers of that one in the relegation final. So the season continues for Longford. For Roscommon, they can draw a line under a year which had its fair share of ups and downs and controversies. But the interim management team has come in, they've saved themselves, they've got themselves back, they've got the ship back on the tracks. It's trains that go on tracks instead of ships, but I'm getting tired and emotional at this stage. Come on, Offaly have won in All-Ireland here, give me some leeway. Anyway, final score here, and as per usual, I'd like to say my thanks to TG4 for sponsoring the Ladies Intermediate Championship, to the LGFA themselves for streaming all these games, to Michael and Maria Carty here beside me of MMC Streaming, who do a great job and make me look quasi-professional at times. It's all over here at Kiltoom. Final score, Roscommon have saved their season. It's Roscommon 3 goals and 9 points. Longford a goal and 10 points.